Welcome to the English department at TKU. We provide personalized care for every student. Our inspiring teaching empowers learners to excel. At TKU, we believe in AI-driven education. Our focus is on student success. We integrate ESG principles for a sustainable future. Experience the benefits of personalized learning. Enjoy customized support for every student. We empower you to achieve your academic goals. We help you unlock your full potential. Experience the future of education at TKU English, where AI innovation, digitalization, and ESG principles converge to create a sustainable learning environment.
Welcome to this session on using the STAR method to write an effective autobiography for school or job applications. In this video, we'll explore how the STAR framework can help you structure your personal stories clearly and professionally, whether you're applying for a school program, a scholarship, or a job. Let's begin by understanding what the STAR method actually is and why it's so useful. So what is the STAR method? STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. It's a framework that helps you organize your experience into a logical and compelling narrative. This method is particularly effective because it gives your story a clear beginning, middle, and end. By separating the background, your responsibility, the steps you took, and the outcome, STAR helps you communicate more clearly and confidently. It's often used in interviews, but it's just as helpful for writing autobiographies or personal statements. Let's break down each part of STAR. First, the situation sets the stage. Where were you? What was going on? This gives context to your story. Then, the task explains your specific role or challenge in that situation. The action is the heart of the story. What exactly did you do to address the task? Be specific here. Finally, the result shows the outcome of your actions. What happened? Did you achieve something? Did you learn something? Together, these four parts help showcase your abilities through real-life experiences. So why use STAR when writing an autobiography? First, it helps you write concise but complete stories. This keeps your readers interested. Second, it allows you to highlight your achievements naturally without sounding like you're bragging. And third, STAR gives your story tangible evidence. Employers or school committees want to see proof that you have the skills you claim to have. Instead of just saying, "I'm hardworking," you'll show it through a structured story. Let's look at an example of a paragraph without the STAR method. I helped improve sales in my previous job. I worked on some marketing tasks and tried to attract more customers. I also launched a campaign that seemed to do well. Eventually, our sales went up, and the company was happy with the results. This paragraph is vague and lacks structure. We don't know when or where this happened, what the speaker's role was, or what exactly they did. The result is unclear and not measurable. Now let's look at the same content, but written using the STAR format. First, the situation sets the stage. In my previous job, we faced declining sales. This gives us the context. There was a problem that needed to be solved. Next, we move to the task. My responsibility was to develop a new marketing strategy. Here, we learn what the speaker's role was and what they were expected to do in that situation. Then comes the action. I conducted market research and launched a targeted campaign. This part explains exactly what steps the speaker took to solve the problem. Notice how it's clear and specific. Finally, we see the result. This led to a 20% increase in sales over 6 months. This gives us a measurable outcome and shows the success of the speaker's effort. When all four elements, situation, task, action, and result, are included like this, the story becomes not just informative, but persuasive. It helps your reader or listener understand your contribution and see your value clearly. Here's the refined version of the STAR story. In my previous job, we faced declining sales that threatened the company's revenue stability. My responsibility was to develop a new marketing strategy to reverse this trend. I began by conducting detailed market research to identify customer preferences and gaps in our approach, then launched a targeted advertising campaign based on those insights. As a result, our sales increased by 20% over 6 months, significantly improving our market position and team morale. This paragraph paints a complete picture. It adds depth to the situation, explains the logic behind the action, and gives a strong, meaningful result. That's the power of STAR. It transforms a bland story into a professional and persuasive one. Let's compare how narratives differ when you use the STAR method versus when you don't. First, the STAR method provides clarity in storytelling. It helps the reader or listener follow your experience step by step. What happened, what you did, and what came out of it. This structure avoids confusion and makes your point easier to understand. Without STAR, important details are often missing. People might forget to mention the context, their specific role, or the final result. The story becomes vague or unconvincing. Readers may be left wondering, so what exactly did you do? Or why does this matter? Finally, using the STAR method helps you highlight your achievements more effectively. Instead of simply listing what you did, you explain how your actions made a difference. This focus on impact makes your writing more powerful, especially for school applications, resumes, or interviews. In short, STAR doesn't just help you tell a story. It helps you tell a story that shows your value. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on why the STAR method is such a valuable tool in storytelling. First and foremost, it helps you communicate your ideas with clarity. By breaking your experiences into 4 simple steps: situation, task, action, and result, you ensure that your message is easy to follow and impactful. It also makes your autobiography more organized and effective, especially when you're trying to stand out in personal statements or job applications. Instead of listing vague experiences, STAR helps you turn your story into structured evidence of your skills and growth. Whether you're preparing for an interview, applying for a scholarship, or reflecting on your academic journey, the STAR method gives you a way to turn your experiences into persuasive stories. So, I encourage you to apply the STAR method in real life. Think about your own experiences, academic, personal, or professional, and try shaping one of them into a STAR story. You'll be surprised how powerful your narrative can become when it's structured this way.